my good buddy Phil, I like Phil. A lot of people don't talk bad about Phil, but I like Phil. He's a good guy. If I did not have Phil around, what a mess you'd have.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're working back on the 52 Chevy project. This time we are inside the cab, working on the side panels next to the firewall. They're completely rotted out right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to use some poster board. We're going to make up templates for both the passenger side and the driver's side. We're going to take those templates, transfer that over to 18 gauge steel, and then we're going to get them cut out of the steel and then welded in place in the truck. So let's get to it. So I'm going to bring it a little closer inside the truck here, and you can see right here, these are completely rotted out. So what we're going to end up probably doing is we're probably going to end up cutting these up here, right around this section up here, and going straight across, down, and having a template made for this section right in here. And we're going to cut out the rot and weld the new panels right over top and then blend it in around the edges. You're never going to be able to tell. I'll probably have tabs along the bottom floor that we're going to weld in along the floor here too. So I have a tab up here, tab down the side here, and tab here. We're going to weld right down to the floor. We'll probably spot weld it along this section here, spot weld it up here, maybe weld it along the edges. But we're going to have this section here we need to make a template for right in here right now. So let's make the template, get that figured out, and then we'll use the template to figure out where we want to cut the metal out. So we know it's good up to about here. So we'll probably make the template up to about this second little ridge along here. And if I make this correctly, this template on this side, on the driver's side, might actually work over on the passenger side as well. So we're gonna make that template right now and see how it goes. So I got my poster board here. We're just gonna throw this in the cab. We're gonna get the tape measure. We're gonna get a pair of scissors, maybe a marker or a pencil and a straight edge. We're gonna get in the cab. We're gonna make this template up, see how it's actually gonna fit. I think it's gonna go pretty easily. The hardest part is probably gonna be cutting out the old metal. But we'll get to that once we get to that stage. So let's get this postcard, get the template made up. Make sure my butt crack's not hanging out for the camera all the time. Nobody likes to see the butt crack, do ya? Comment down below if you want to see more butt crack. I'm thinking the first thing we're gonna do is just take some basic measurements of what we want to actually make a template of. So I'm gonna say we're gonna come up to here. And that will get rid of all the rot that we currently have in place. So just for fun, we're gonna cut out some of this metal right now, try to get it out of the way, see what we're working with. So I'm thinking I'm gonna draw a line here, because this is all solid metal, so I don't need to remove it all, but I'm gonna move it over enough, mark it with the marker. We're gonna cut out some of this old shitty metal, all in here, something like that. So what I did here was I pounded out that crease in the outside. That piece on the outside is completely shot, so we're gonna end up cutting that out. So I'm not too worried about in here, because when we take that piece out, we can get in here and clean up anything we need to clean up. I got it all cleaned up on here that we're gonna tack weld the inside panel to. We're gonna basically weld the panel all the way around the edge. And then we're gonna have flaps that stick out onto the firewall here, probably right into this crack here would be perfect to cover up this, up here in this section. And then we can come down here, come down along here, and this thing will be nicely solid in place here. I've got to take this one bolt out when we do it, because that's holding the bracket that was for the brake pedal on originally, the emergency brake pedal, that we're not going to use because we have a push button electric brake now. So we're going to continue on making the template here. So it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. We're coming down 7 inches here, which then means we need to connect, I need a longer ruler to connect that to there, and that would be our template to use on this side. So then we'll add flaps on here, something like that, line right here. So I'm going to cut that out. We're just going to see how this fits. Maybe it'll fit well, maybe it won't. Very close. Very close. That's what we're going for right there. Say we do cut this straight down here. Get this curve out of the way here. Let's continue on with the test fitting. The better we can make this test fit work, the better the outcome will be with the metal. Metal's a lot harder to work with. So let's say we don't have a curve at the bottom. This is straightened out again. That would be easier. Oh yeah, if we do that, I know that the angle is now off. Let's check this one more time. Alrighty, so I'm gonna make a new template. Oof, foot's asleep. Oop, falling over. Make a new template right now to fit up in here. Needs to be about a little more than a quarter inch lower on this side, all the way down to the point there. And then that should be pretty spot on accurate right there. Then we just need to clean up around the edges, clean up where we're gonna spot weld, tack, clean up in here a little bit so it's smoother. Get this cut out of metal with tabs. We're gonna put a tab over here, tab here, and a tab along the bottom. Bend those in the brake. All right, let's make a new template. So this is our template that we just made in the truck, and this is the old template we used for the floor. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna recreate this using the old template, old poster board, because I keep wasting new board. That should be the correct shape we're going for. We're gonna cut it out, try it. Worst case is we do it again, and we do it again. And we keep doing it again until we get it absolutely perfect. Once we get it perfect, then we'll replicate this onto a piece of metal right there. So this right here is our new template. So let's go on the truck and see if this fits. Let's see how it fits. Let's say we want that to be down another 1/8 of an inch. Same thing, this section right here needs to come down just a little bit. The rest of it's looking really good. Template number 3 right now for the driver's side. I think we're getting really close. Oh yeah, we are in good shape. So number 3 is the good one. So let's mark this, number 3, drivers. So now we need to kind of mark how big do we want our tabs to be. I know here we want to cover up that one spot on the firewall. So it could come right up to there. That's 2.5 inches. So this tab on this side will be 2.5 inches. And then I probably want another 2.5 inch tab over here to cover up this hole. But it's going to come down, say 3.25 inches. And the rest will have, I don't know, an inch tab maybe? Let's do 1 inch tab. So here's our template, and I marked out where all the tabs are gonna go, how big the tabs are gonna be. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna transfer this over to the 18 gauge piece of steel and account for where the tabs are gonna be. So I'm gonna trace this out exactly how it is. That's gonna be our bend lines. We're gonna bend here, we're gonna bend here, and we're gonna bend here. So let's replicate this over on the piece of steel. So right now I'm tracing the template onto the actual 18 gauge piece of steel. I'm gonna trace the actual shape of the template, but we're not gonna cut it out yet because we need to take into account for the 1 inch tab here and here, and the 2.5 inch tab here and here. So we know we have a 1 inch tab we need down here. So I need to measure a 1 inch down here. I need to measure 1 inch here. I need to measure 2.5 inch, 2.5 inch. So you can see we've got the template right here all transferred over to the actual 18 gauge piece of steel. So right here, these are the tabs. This is a tab, that's a 1 inch tab, that's a 2.5 inch tab, that's a 2.5 inch tab. So we need to make a cut here, then a cut here, then we'll use the cutoff wheel to cut this notch out. Use the shears here, a little cutoff wheel in there. So we're gonna cut this out right now using a combination of the metal shears as well as a cutoff wheel on the grinder. There we go, all cleaned up. Now we have to bend it here, here, all the way along here, and then here. So we got 3 bends to make. So we need to get the brake out and we need to get it bolted down to the actual welding table, which is covered in crap right now. So I'm gonna work on getting the brake ready. We'll come right back. All right, so I've got the brake bolted down to the welding table right now. It's all clamped in place. The problem I'm running into is if I want to bend this center section, it's gonna end up bending the tips on both sides of these bends. So I think the only way around it is to actually bend the tip here and the tip here to get this center section bent up at 90 degrees how I want it. Once this is bent at 90 degrees, I can then hammer both of these bends back down on the tips and then bend this section and then bend this section, because then nothing will be in the way. So I'm gonna get this positioned down here. So we're gonna end up bending this tip and this tip. I'll hammer those back down, but then the center section will be bent up where we need it. Then we'll have to figure out how we're gonna bend just that tip with this section bent up in the way. But I don't know. This is the first time I've done this, so here we go. Full send. I have so much shit everywhere. Like, why do I have sunscreen in the garage? Is it hot in here? I don't know. Is it sunny? I don't know. So I got this section clamped in with a piece of aluminum that I had. Check that out. It's gonna be like that in the truck. Weld all along here, weld all along here. It's coming up pretty damn good. Perfect. I always forget to do those, and then I just gotta make up something. Let's get this in the truck. We're gonna test fit this to see how it's actually gonna fit in here. Close, very close. I just got the rubber gasket pulled out along here. So we're just gonna flap wheel and clean all along the edges here where we're gonna be welding. I did end up cutting this middle section out right here just to make it easier to weld into place and hammer down into shape. Then we'll end up putting a piece in here and welding it all the way around here once everything's done. Again, you're not gonna see any of this because this is all gonna be dynamatted and painted and dynamatted and carpeted. So everything we're doing now is to solidify the floor as best we can. You won't see any of it when this truck is done. So let's get cleaning this up and getting ready for welding. So I mocked up the template right here for the passenger side. So we're going to use this sheet of metal that we already have here to trace this out, and we'll probably use it in this section here. We'll add on the tabs just like we did the last time. So we'll cut it straight this way, get the gloves off to make it easier, and then we'll figure out where we're going to put the tabs and stuff. There we go, so this is all cleaned up. Now we've got the brake lines where we need to actually bend. So we're gonna bring this over to the brake right now, get this bent into shape. So you got the shape right here, all nicely bent, so this is gonna go in the truck right now. Let's see how it fits. So I'm just test fitting this panel on the side over here right now. I'm gonna mark where the panel actually fits because we need to clean up all around here with the flap wheel. This is going to go in right just like that. Probably just going to tack it in place here. Just keep pushing and tacking this in. Then we'll go work our way across this way. Hammer that down into where we want it. Probably end up pushing this floor in up at least just a little bit because there's a little bit of a gap right in the center where we welded it together. But so weld it all nicely up through there. Hammer this down, weld it right down along there. So break out the welder time. Camera's getting dusty. So I think I just need to push the floor out right in this section here, just a little bit. So I'm gonna try that right now. Everything else is all tacked in, except for this one little section here. Doesn't get any better than that. That pushed it out perfect. So let's tack that in right where it is now. I used the air jack up against the tire and then pushing against the floor, and it pushed the floor right back out where it should be. Alright everyone, that's going to be a wrap for this video. As you can see, we got the side panels in the truck 100% completely mocked up and welded into place. They are 100% done at this point. I was able to mock them up using poster board. We traced that out onto the 18 gauge steel. We used the metal brake to bend the edges up so we get a nice welding surface inside the truck. We're able to get them fully welded in place. So coming up in the next video, I'm probably gonna have Dave come over and we're gonna shift around the entire garage finally. The truck is finally gonna come off the lift. The truck's gonna go over to the 2-car bay. The 1934 Dodge Street Rod and the trailer full of parts are gonna go up on the lift and underneath the lift. That gives us a 2-bay garage to work on the truck. It's really hard to get over on the driver's side of the truck right now, right against the garage wall. So it's gonna bring the truck over this side. We can start working on the body work. We can start working on the door latches. We're gonna be putting in Altman latches. We're gonna be putting in power windows. We're putting in door poppers and shaving the outside door handles. We're gonna be cleaning up the firewall. Once that's all done, we're probably gonna take the entire body off the frame. The entire frame's gonna get stripped down, finished welded, painted. So as always, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Smash the big red subscribe button, smash the bell icon so you know when I do post future videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.